Born on August 12, 1948, in the small town of Sylvester, Georgia, Sue Monk Kidd grew up to be one of the world's most glorified authors. At a young age, Sue was very unsure about her future, including spirituality, career, and life to come. Being that so many references to her mother are made during her writings, it is quite surprising that neither the name of Kidd's mother nor father is given in any source. The only information provided about Kidd's father is that he had told her stories as a young girl, which greatly influenced her desire to become a writer. Although her father planted the seed in her to become a writer, that tree did not start to bloom until her later life. Sue attended Texas Christian University, where she graduated in 1970 with a nursing degree. Now that she had become a certified nurse and figured her career was set, Kidd started a family of her own. Sue met her husband, Sandy, and later gave birth to a son who they named Bob, and a daughter who they named Anne. After the birth of her two children, Sue had a strange feeling. Perhaps it was a sudden remembrance of her father's storytelling, but around the age of 30, Sue decided to take a risk and pursue a writing career. She took multiple classes and eventually composed 3 spiritual memoirs. The first of these memoirs was titled God's Joyful Surprise. It was published in 1988 and spoke about Kidd's search for her spiritual self shortly after her college graduation. Following the publication of her first memoir, she wrote and published When the Heart Waits just 2 years later. This book contained a more in-depth look at Kidd's spiritual journey and transformation and gave advice to others searching to find themselves. Having written 2 nonfiction books leading up to this point, Kidd began to have a deep desire to write fiction. She wrote The Secret Life of Bees, which got published in the year 2002. She had no idea what a success her novel would be. It was on the bestseller list for 2.5 years, and was made into a major motion picture. It also won several awards, giving Kidd an excellent reputation. Now that Kidd felt confident about her skills pertaining to fictional writing, she wrote The Mermaid Chair, her second novel. This too earned a spot on the bestseller list and was made into a movie. Although completely different stories, these works of fiction shared common themes. Both novels had the theme of death and migration of some sort. Sue Monk Kidd lived through the Cold War, so this may have been a result of her being exposed to so many losses, as well as seeing so many people flee in order to ensure their safety. Another overarching theme between The Secret Life of Bees and The Mermaid Chair was the empowerment of women. Growing up around the time of the second wave feminist movement, Kidd would have been exposed to countless marches such as these, which gave her the idea to include strong women figures in her novels. Focusing more on her first work of fiction, The Secret Life of Bees, it is very clear that racism and civil rights were the largest components holding the story together. A few years prior to the publication of this novel, the civil rights movement was taking effect. This was without a doubt the historical event where Sue Monk Kidd found her inspiration. All of these themes make Kidd the exceptional author she is today. Kidd ended her fictional writing phase by publishing a book containing a collection of her writings throughout the years. This book was called First Light and aims to answer the question of, who am I? Anne Taylor, Sue Monk Kidd's daughter, is passionate in the field of writing just like her mother. In 2010, the two of them came together to write Kidd's newest book called Traveling with Pomegranates. This collaboration brought out the best in both writers and allowed for a closer look into the life and struggles of both Sue and her daughter. In the meantime, Sue is still alive and well, and is most likely putting pen to paper at this very moment. However, if she happens to retire from her beloved career, we are sure to see more of her. Whether she is speaking at a public event, doing a book signing, or even if her books appear in animated films, Sue Monk Kidd will always be known as one of the world's greatest authors.